In this video, parenting a strong-willed child. Stay tuned. So first, let's empathize. It's not easy being a strong-willed child. You come into this world with power, will, and determination, and you need guidance just as much as the next kid. It's unsettling to push boundaries and constantly see them changing as your parent sighs with exasperation. Are you too powerful? Your parents can't handle you? And yet you're still so small and inexperienced. So parents, recognize you can handle her. You are strong enough. She's testing the boundaries because she wants to see you enforce them. She wants to know that you are a strong leader, one that she can follow, someone she can trust to guide her. She's searching for a leader, so stand up and show her that that is you. So how can we approach her big emotional outbursts, the backlash whenever we don't give in, or other, to our adult eyes, over-the-top reactions? Number one, acknowledge and accept. It's likely when your child overreacts because you didn't cut her sandwich correctly or something that really she's just releasing a whole load of stored up feelings and they need to get those feelings out. So acknowledge that she needs to release these feelings and that it's healthy and it's fine. Trust her feelings. Don't try and tell her that she is feeling something that she's not. Your child might just have had an explosive outburst over something that you consider minor, but please realize that for her, it is not minor. Understand that these emotions that can seem bigger than any you've ever had to handle in your own life are giving her the same amount of stress and difficulty as they're giving you to watch. So empathize with her whenever she is having a really big emotional outburst. Understand that she needs your safe, loving guidance. She needs your arms. She needs you to be there and to hold her through it. Just because it seems overly emotional to us does not mean that it is overly emotional. Accept her. Accept your child exactly as she is, because it's part of what makes her who she is, and it's part of what makes her so wonderful. When you enforce rules and she has a huge outburst and tries to fight you on the rules, acknowledge that she's upset. Acknowledge that she doesn't like that rule. It doesn't mean you have to give in. It doesn't mean you have to change the rule. You just acknowledge that it's difficult for her and you help her and coach her through that difficult emotion, but you don't change the rule. Number two, consider what could be the root of the problem here. A lot of the time, the root isn't actually in what seems to be the problem. It's not because you gave a blue cup instead of a green one. That's not really why they're upset. Your child is either releasing a whole load of stored up emotion that they've suppressed down, and then sometimes it's something much simpler. Is she hungry? Is she tired? Is she feeling under a lot of stress? Is there tension in the home? Are you feeling stressed? If you're feeling stressed out, that's what's radiating off you. That's the energy in the room. And whenever your child picks up on that, it can be very difficult to deal with even little small things like getting given a blue cup when you wanted the green one. Number three is boundaries. Set strong boundaries. Be firm, but calm whenever you articulate them to her. It's okay to set boundaries based on your own wants and needs. Remember that this is a two-way relationship. Sometimes your child might not like the boundaries, and it's okay to argue them. It's okay for your child to express to you that this doesn't suit them and why. In many ways, this is something that should be celebrated because they're learning negotiation skills. And sometimes, if the rules really aren't working for everyone in the family, that can indicate it's time to sit down and have a brainstorm and work out what will work. But for the most part, the rules are the rules, and your child does have to learn how to live within the confines of rules. Whenever they leave your home and they go out into the world, they're going to find a world that is full of rules. In school, they're expected to follow rules. Even whenever they're an adult and they're at work, they're expected to follow rules. Rules exist in our society, and you're doing your child a disservice if you don't actually teach them how to navigate rules, how to live within the confines of rules. All homes do need to have a set structure and some rules. When you calmly articulate the rules, when you firmly enforce them, while empathizing, while acknowledging and accepting your child's emotions, they learn that you're the leader, and that's exactly what they're looking for. You're there to guide them with empathy, with kindness. But the rules are the rules, and that's a teaching. And you are teaching them how to live in this world. It's a good thing, and you're doing them a favor. Ultimately, all children, no matter how strong-willed, strive to please their parents. And whenever they live by the rules, thank them for it. Show them how pleased you are, because that's really what they want. That's really what they're trying for. If you think about it in another situation, if you try and place yourself there, sometimes it's difficult for a parent to go back in time and to look at themselves with their own parents because of the way their parents parented them. If there was a sort of authoritarian style parenting in the home, it can be difficult to enforce rules now yourself as a parent because you don't want to be that authoritarian parent. But it's been proven, study after study, that while authoritarian parenting isn't ideal, neither is permissive, that authoritative parenting is the type of parenting that's going to see real results. And you can be authoritative while being empathetic and gentle and kind. Remember that you are the leader. You are the leader that your child is looking for. And so you want to guide them with compassion and empathy. And whenever you are that sort of a respectful person, whenever you give that level of respect to your child, they will give it back. And they will want to follow your rules, and they will want to please you. And number 4 is consequences. Now, I spoke about punishments and consequences in a previous video, which I'll link up there, so you can click on that if you'd like to hear more about this. But really the general gist of it is that in-tune parenting believes in natural consequences. The problem with punishments is it can lead to a child becoming quite self-centered, where they focus a lot on themselves and how they're feeling wronged, and not about being good for the sake of others. Consequences work differently, but not consequences if they're enforced by the parent. Consequences that are enforced by the parent are simply punishments, just going by another name. Natural consequences is whenever something happens naturally. Like if you go outside without your coat in the middle of winter, you're gonna be cold. That's a natural consequence. But the good thing with natural consequences is that we as parents can use them to our favor. An example would be if you want your child to help you cleaning up around the home. And I'll make another video about doing chores and helping out around the house a different day. But let's say one of your rules in your home is that your child will tidy away their toys whenever they're finished playing. And your child doesn't want to tidy away toys, and you have said to them, the rule is you must tidy away your toys after you finish playing, and she still doesn't want to. Okay, so how can we approach this with a natural consequence? So it's like this. Look, Sarah, I know you don't want to tidy up your toys. I know you think that this is unfair, but you have to tidy your toys before you can do anything else. That is the rule. Do you know why that's the rule? We have a rule in our house that you tidy because I need you to help me. If I do all the tidying, I won't have time to do other things that need doing. If I sit down and tidy the toys now, I won't have time to bake that cake. And don't you want to have some cake after dinner? So there is an example. Instead of a punishment where you say, if you don't tidy your toys, you're not getting any dessert, the natural consequence way of saying it will be explaining how if Sarah doesn't tidy her toys, the natural consequence is that the cake won't even get made. It'll be impossible for her to have dessert. Not because I'm all powerful and I'm going to restrict her in some way because I'm not happy with her behavior, but because it doesn't actually make sense for her to get the cake if she hasn't tidied away her toys. And so you're explaining how the world works. You're teaching. And after all, discipline means to teach. And of course, if she really wants to test, you can say to her, okay, don't tidy your toys and I'll tidy them up. And the cake won't get made. And you have to stay strong with this and really not find time elsewhere to make that cake or whatever the consequence is. So that's how you follow through. So that's how you show her and she learns from the natural consequence. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, click the like down below. It's the little thumbs up symbol. And if you want to see more videos just like this, subscribe to the channel.